Hey designers, welcome to Code Superior. My name is Debbie Power. So in today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to draft a corset top with basque waistline. This is just the drafting class. Now, on next class, I'll teach you how to sew. So if this is what you're interested in, sit back and enjoy our drafting class. Thank you. Hello designers, this is Debbie Power. Welcome to Codep Superior. So today we'll be drafting a cupped corset with a back waistline. As you can see, I've drafted out my basic bodice block. I went ahead to draft out my chest line, my bust point, my under bust point, my waistline, and my full length. The full length I'm working with is 25 inches. That's how long I want it to be. And I'm gonna add to mark out my neckline, then 1 inch for my shoulder slant. The next thing I'll be doing, I'll divide my um armhole line into two equal halves. Then I'll mark a point to note my midpoint. Then I'll come in by 0.75 of an inch. Then I'm going to rule a straight line for me to curve my armhole. So the next thing I'm going to do, I will measure my bust circumference, which is 40 divided by 4. I'll be having 10 inches. So I will impute it so that I can curve out my armhole line. Then I'll take my curved ruler and I will curve my armhole line like you see me do, like so. So guys, once I've curved out my armhole line, I'll go ahead and impute my waist circumference. The waist circumference I'm working with is 36 inches. I'll go ahead and divide it into 4. I'll be having 9. So I'll go ahead and impute my 9 inches. Then I will also add my dart intake, which is 1.5. So guys, once I've done that, I'll go ahead and mark out my hip circumference. The hip circumference I'm working with is 44 inches. Divided by 4, I'll be having 11 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark out my 11 inches on my full length. And the next thing I'm going to do, I will connect the points together, forming my side line. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to impute my bust span measurement. The bust span measurement I'm working with is 8 inches, which is my nipple to nipple measurement. So from my bust point, I'll mark out my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4, on down to my full length. So I'll go ahead and mark out my bust point, and I'll take my straight ruler and connect all points together. This will serve as my center that leg. So I'll go ahead and connect like so. So guys, on my waistline, I will come in by 0.75. I've already replaced it back on my waistline at the side. So I'll go ahead and impute 0.75 on both sides. Then I'll take my straight ruler and connect from my bust point to my waistline. Then I'll also connect the other one at this other side like you see me do, and I will extend the both that leg down to my full length. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to tighten my under bust. So on my side front, I'll put my tape at my middle that leg, and I'll come in by 1.25. You can as well go in by 1 inch depending on how you want to tighten your under bust. Then at my center front, I will come in by 0.75. So that's what I'll use to tighten my under bust. And I'll take my curve ruler and connect from my under bust to my bust point like so. The next thing I'll do, I'll also take my curve ruler and place it at my side front and also connect it to my bust point like so. So the next thing I'm going to do, to mark out my overbust line, which is where I want my corset to start from my neck depth, I will come down by 4 inches. You can as well go down by 5 or by 6, depending on how low you want it to be. But I came down by 4 inches because I don't want it to be too low, and I connected a straight line. The next thing I will do, I will extend my that leg. For me to extend my that leg on my shoulder slant, I will divide my shoulder slant into two equal halves, like so. So go ahead and divide your shoulder slant into two equal halves. Then whatsoever result you get, mark it and connect a straight line from your shoulder slant midpoint to your bust point. So like this, you've already extended your that leg from your bust point to your shoulder line. So we are going to tighten our overbust. And to tighten our overbust, you can come in on both sides by 0.75. Now this works for everybody. Come in by 0.75 on both sides or by 1 inch. So whichever you want, you can impute it. Is that you use 0.75 on 1 inch. This works for every side. Then you take your curve ruler and you connect it to your bust point like so, like you see me do. So make sure you place your curve rightly so that you won't have a sharp edge, a sharp point. And I'll do the same thing at my side front. I'll connect it to my bust point like so. So we have successfully tightened our over bust and under bust. So if you're noticing any sharp point at your bust point, just go ahead and blend it. And the next thing we are going to do, we're going to impute our bust dart. Now, do you impute your bust dart? This is the difference between your front waist length and your back waist length. So my the difference between my front waist length and my back waist length is 2 inches. And I'll go ahead and connect a straight line to my bust point like so. So go ahead and do the same thing like you see me do. So the next thing you're going to do, we want to curve out our cupped corset. So at our center front, you mark half of an inch from your armhole line to your waist length. So depending on how deep you want your center front to be, but I maintain my chest line. So you can come down by 1 inch from your chest line. So I'll go ahead and rule a straight line once I've marked out my half inch from my chest line to my waistline. So the next thing I'm going to do, I will cover out my cupped corset. I will take my curve ruler from where I have my half inch. I will connect a curve to my under bust. So before you connect a curve, make sure you take your tape, and from this point to where you have your curve ruler should be about 1.25 inches. 1.25 or 1.5, but it's mostly 1.25 inches. So make sure you measure it out and connect like so. So the next thing we're going to do to curve out our cup on the other side, I will go ahead and cut out my basic bodice block before I will do any further alteration. So I'll go ahead and cut it out like so. From the center front of my full length, I will come in by 2 inches. You can as well go in by 2.5 inches, depending on how small you want the center front to be. So I will connect a straight line from my under bust to the 2.5 or 2 inches I came in. So the next thing I will do on my side front, I will also connect a straight line to my that leg like so, the center that leg. So go ahead and connect like you see me do. So the next thing I'm going to do like so, I'll go ahead and open up my center that leg in order for me to close my bust dart so that I can curve out the cup for my side. So I'll go ahead and open up my center that leg like so. So when cutting your center that leg, make sure you don't cut through. Just stop at the tip of your bust point, but don't cut through. So once I've opened my center that leg, I'm going to pick my bust that leg. This is my bust that leg. And I'll pick it and place it on my bust point line. I will pick my bust that leg, then I will place it on my bust point line. So I'll place it on my bust point line like so. Then I'll get my marking tape and tape it down like so. So go ahead and do the same thing like you see me do. So I prefer using my marking tape because I can see my lines. My lines are visible, but you can use a transparent tape. But for me, I prefer to use my marking tape. The next thing I will do, I will take my tracing wheel and trace out whatsoever shortage I am having. So by the time I open up my bust dart, it's going to indicate to me that I'm having a dart at the side. So I'll go ahead and take my marker pen and fill up whatsoever shortage I have. So go ahead and do the same thing. So the next thing we are going to do, I'll go ahead and curve my side curve. So on my chest line, I'll come in by 1 inch. I'll come in by 1 inch. You can as well come in by 1.5 or 1 inch, like the way I came in. Then I'll take my curve ruler and curve it like so. So guys, look at the way I'm placing my curve ruler. So make sure you place it the same way I am doing. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do, once I've curved out my side curve, I'll go ahead and close my overbust dart. And before I close my overbust dart, I will open my bust dart. So once I've opened my bust dart, you can see the crease line that I'm having at the center. Now because I closed my bust dart, it has given me a line at the center. So I'll go ahead and cut out the line that you are seeing. I'll go ahead and cut it out like I am doing. So the next thing I'm going to do, on my overbust line, I'll go ahead and pick the dart line I'm having at the center front. Then I will fold it like so, then place it on the dart I'm having on the side like I am doing. So guys, make sure you fold properly. Make sure you fold properly. Make sure the two lines are meeting up each other. So the next thing, I'll pick up my curve ruler. Then on my chest line, I'll go ahead and draw out my sweetheart neckline. You can as well go deeper depending on how deep you want your neckline to be, but I prefer to draw out my neckline on my chest line area. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to curve out my side neckline like I'm doing. I'll curve it out to my armhole line like so, and I'll pick my tracing wheel and make sure I trace out what I'm having at the overbust line, the folded part, so that by the time I open it up, I can see the line. The line will be visible to me. So I'll pick my marker pen and mark it out like so. The next thing I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and close my bust dart. So before I close my bust dart, I'm going to cut out that line that I'm having on my bust areas. That's my bust point line. I'll go ahead and cut it out like so. I will go ahead and place it on my bust dart. Can you see the way I'm placing it? On that line I'm having on my bust dart, I'll go ahead and place it on my bust dart. So I have successfully closed my bust dart, and you can see the line I'm having at the side, they are all equal. They match each other. So I'll take my marker pen and complete my side cup like so. That side cup that has a space, I'll go ahead and close it up. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and snatch my waist. I want to lace this dress. The waist measurement I'm having was 36 inches. So I want to make use of 30 inches. So I'll be taking out 6 inches from my waist. So on what I have at my center front line on my waist line, I'll go ahead and measure what I have. So I'm having 2.6 inches. I'll place my 2.6 inches and place it on that leg I'm having at the side. Then I will complete my 7.5, because if I divide 30 by 4, I'll be having 7.5. So I will just mark out my 7.5 like that. Then on my hip line, my waist is 39 inches and I want to make use of 34. So I'll go ahead and mark out what I have at my center front, whatsoever thing I have, I will pick it up and place it at the dart leg you seen. Then I will complete my new waistline and mark it up like so. So once I've done that, from my bust line, I'll go ahead and connect all those together. I don't want to snatch my bust. I want to leave my bust. My bust is about 40. I just took out 2 inches. So I don't want to snatch my bust because the focus on the snatching is on our waist area. So I'll go ahead and mark out my lines, my like I'm doing. So just go ahead and do the same thing like so. I've successfully snatched out my waist because I won't be using my former measurement again. So what I'm marking out is what I took out from my waist. So once I've done that, I'll go ahead and cut out my patterns because we are done with the front bodies. So the next thing we're going to do, we'll cut this out and we'll go over to the back. So guys, watch carefully the way I'm cutting my patterns out so that you won't make mistake and cut out the wrong thing. Just look at the way I'm cutting it out and the way and do the same thing like I am doing. So guys, before we go over to the back, the next thing we are going to do, we are going to draft out our back's waistline. So on our waistline, I will come down by 1.5 and curve it like so. So before then, I will pick my center front pattern and place it at my side front pattern. Then I'll use my marking tape and close the two patterns up. Make sure the two lines, the lines you're having, they should match each other. So on my waistline, I will go ahead and come down by 1.5 inches. Like I've said, you can come down by 2 inches, but the minimum you should come down from your waist is 1.5 or 2 inches. But I came down by 1.5. So once I've marked out the 1.5, I'll pick up my curve ruler and curve the desired shape I want, the desired back line I want. So I'll go ahead and pick up my curve ruler and curve it like so. So just do the same thing I'm doing. So once I've done curving out the desired back line I want, I'll go ahead and cut it out like so. So guys, we are done with our front, then we'll go over to the back. So for the back, I'm already gonna head to mark out my lines. I've marked out my chest line, my bust line, and my waist line. So guys, the front waist length is longer than the back waist length. The front waist length was 18 inches, but for the back, I'm having 16 because that's the difference between my front and back. So the next thing I'm going to do on my chest line, I'll go ahead and mark out my bust measurement. Then on my waistline, I'll also go ahead and mark out my waist measurement, which is 9 inches. Now for the 9 inches, I went ahead and added 1.5, which is my dash, like the way we did at the front. So I'll go ahead and connect all my points together like so. So guys, once I've connected my lines together, I'll go ahead and impute my dart. From my waistline on my center back, I'll go ahead and mark out 4 inches, which was the dart we make use at the front. I'll go ahead and mark it up to my chest line. Our dart for the back extended to our chest line. Then I'll go ahead and rule out all my markings together. Then for the back dart intake, I still make use of 0.75 as my dart intake. So I'll go ahead and mark and rule it out from waistline to my chest line like so. So I'll do the same thing for the other side. I'll go ahead and rule out my dart from my waistline to my chest line like so. So the next we are going to do, since it's a lacing back, I'll go ahead and mark out 2 inches from my center back down to my waist length. So I want to have an opening at the back. So I want to take out 2 inches from my back down to my waist length. So go ahead and do the same thing like so. Then I'll take my ruler and mark out my markings together. So once I've marked out my markings, I'll also extend it down to the tip of my back length like so. So I'll be making use of this one. I'll go ahead and cut this out because I will not be making use of the lines there. At the side, I will come down by 1.5 inch because for the front we came down by 1.5. So the back and the front should match together. So I'll come down by 1.5 like so to the center back. Then I'll take my curve ruler and roll it. We've successfully extended our back length so that by the time we're making our dress, this the side of the front we match up to the side of the back. The next thing I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and input my waist measurement. For the waist measurement that we used was 30 inches because we took out 6 inches from our original waist measurement. So I'll go ahead and extend my dart legs, my center dart leg and the two side leg I'm having down to the 1.5 inches I came down with. And I'll take my tape, then on my waistline at the down, I'll measure what I have like we did at the front. And I'll pick what I have, which was 1.6, and place it on my side dart leg and mark out the 7.5 that was our new waist measurement. So I'll mark it out like so. Then I'll pick my ruler and connect it from my chest line to my waist measurement like so. So once I've done that, I'll go ahead and cut my back because we are done with our back pattern. For the chest line, since it's a tube corset, we don't really need the chest line. So I'll go ahead and cut all my patterns out like I'm doing. Like I always said, to drop the back is very easy. So the next thing, I'll go ahead and cut out my darts and I'll place my center back dart to my side back dart like so. And I'll pick up my marking tape and tape it up together because I don't want to have a seam line at the back. I don't want to have a seam line at the back. So I'll go ahead and close it up like so. Once I'm done closing it up, I'll pick up my front pattern, this side. Then I will check if the side is aligning to the side of my back. So I'll go ahead and check. And as you can see, guys, the two sides are aligning. But if your sides are not aligning, just go ahead and extend whatsoever shortage you have, whether at the front or the back. So we are done drafting our front corset pattern and our back pattern. If you have come this far, thank you. I can't wait to see you in my next class on how to sew this corset.